How's it going? I wanted to use this video to let you know what this channel is going to be about from this point on. In the past, I've used this channel as a place to post videos about what interested me at the moment. And so I've been pretty inconsistent as to what I've posted and how often I've posted. I've had these moments where I've wanted to get a lot more serious about it, and sometimes I've even tried to do that. And each time I've attempted that, life has just kind of gotten in the way. But then about every week or so, I'll get requests to make new videos, make more videos like the movie commentaries that I've done in the past. Those seem to be pretty popular. Or the travel videos that I've done with my family. We spent all last year traveling. Or outdoors videos and adventure videos. And combine that with the fact that my life is taking some directions that I think might yield some useful knowledge. And I've decided to try to buckle down and make this channel a lot more consistent around some broad themes. Mostly I am interested in life itself, not from a removed scientific or biological perspective necessarily, but life from a lived perspective. I'm especially interested in philosophy and religion, stories, mythology, but I'm plenty interested in science as well. But all these in their practical aspects. I'm not a big fan of abstract discussions and debates about things that really just don't matter. And so the thing that I always like to ask about everything that I'm talking about is, what practical difference does this make in our lives? On YouTube, I see a lot of dialogue, discussion, and debate around big ideas, but oftentimes coming from people that aren't doing much else compelling in their lives. And then, of course, you see plenty of people doing very compelling things with their lives, chronicling those compelling lives, their feats, their antics, but most of them don't have the ability to really examine their own lives. So what I really want to do with this channel is combine that living of life with the examination of life. I mean, that's basically the pattern that I'm in every day anyway. Trying to live life in a way that is in accords with my ideals, and then examine and see if those ideals are actually the right ones or not, and if I've been successful in living that. So to be clear, I'm not going to be trying to set up myself as an example or an ideal. What I really want to document is just my pursuit of those things. There's been this growing feeling out there, I mean, I've certainly felt it for years, that the world as we know it is coming to an end, and a new world is beginning. It feels like one is phasing out and the other is phasing in. And we're not quite sure if the one that's phasing in is going to be a brutal, ugly world or a bright and beautiful world. And as that process is being worked out, everything is in commotion. As I'm making this, the world is in the throes of the COVID-19 pandemic. And we have just gone through that period of protest and rioting here around the nation. People don't trust any of the major institutions anymore, and for good reason. But it seems like most people are stuck thinking that the answers are going to come from some big institutional movement or solution. I don't think that's how a better world is going to come about. Personally, I think it's going to be individuals and families and little communities who think about and then demonstrate new and old ways of living that are so compelling that others will freely want to take them up. Do I think I'm an example of that? No. But I think that sounds like an engaging pursuit, the kind of pursuits that make life worth living. So it's that pursuit that I want to document with all of its failures and successes. And so that's what this channel is going to be about. As I mentioned before, to this point, the videos that have been most popular on this channel have been my commentaries on movies. So I'm going to continue doing those, and I really enjoy those. For example, I've been working on this commentary for Interstellar for years now, and I keep on rewriting it. But I think I've finally got it about ready to release, so you can look forward to that. I've made some videos about manhood and masculinity in the past that, based off the comments, have also been pretty useful to people. So I'm going to continue doing some of those, with the caveat that for the last few years I've been focusing a lot also on womanhood and femininity and the union and the bringing together of masculinity and femininity. So I'm going to be especially incorporating that into these kinds of videos. I think we're so messed up in society right now with regards to understanding masculinity and femininity. And I think there's some very basic but powerful ideas that might prove useful to helping us understand why there's been so much conflict and what are some of those ways out of that. And then I'll also be making videos about religious or philosophical ideas that have had some tangible impact on my life. So those are all kind of focused on the examination of life. How about the living of life? Well, my family, which includes myself, 9 other people, a brand new little husky pup, and 2 cats, we are about to up and move to a new place. We're going from a pretty typical life in a cul-de-sac and a quarter-acre lot to a life with a much bigger property in a rural valley at the base of some gorgeous mountains. And we're going to try our hand at engaging in a regenerative relationship with the landscape, with animals and plants and the soil. And you'll get to watch us as we start out as complete noobs and see our failures and successes along the way. And of course, I'll always be getting into the whys of what we're doing. Next, I've basically been in a mini retirement for about the last 3 years. And a good year and a half of those 3 years we have spent traveling as a family. And people are always asking me how we were able to pull that off. So I'd love to get into some videos about money and the other different kinds of capital that I think exist and what our relationship should be with those. During our travels, we also saw some incredible things, and more importantly, we learned a lot of incredible things. And so I've got all sorts of footage that I would love to use to make some of those videos that bring out those kinds of themes. I've made a lot of outdoor videos and adventure videos in the past, and I'm going to continue trying to document the beauty out there in nature and man's relationship with it, because I think that's also such an integral part of life. I'm particularly drawn to the mountains and the symbolic power of mountains. For example, it's always been fascinating to me that so many cultures around the world that have had temples, and that's nearly all of them, have nearly always likened those temples to mountains. And I love to explore why that is the case. I'm sure along the way you're going to get some of my thoughts about family and some glimpses into family life and community, because those are such integral and central parts of my life. But I don't want this to be a vlog or reality show about my family, because I really don't think that would be the smartest thing, to have my small children especially growing up feeling like they're starring in some sort of show. But certainly the idea of family, the lessons I'm learning, that's all stuff that we can get into. And finally, there's the dog, Lyra, our new husky pup. What is it about the relationship between mankind and dogs that is so interesting, at least to me? And I guess it's not just me, because you comb YouTube and you'll find there are so many channels with millions and billions of views all about people and their dogs. I don't know all the answers to that, but I love this dog that we just got, so I look forward to digging into that. And so what I want to do is to try to pull all these different things together and to really try to get into the why of all of them, to really plumb their depths. It was back in high school that I first came in contact with the book Walden, and I've always identified with Thoreau's project in it to live deep and suck out all the marrow of life. And so that is really what this channel is about. So maybe that sounds like too much or too unfocused of a channel, and I can understand that. But whenever I've tried to do something more focused, I always keep on running into the problem that that is just not me and something that I can engage in. I'm interested in all this stuff and the connections between all these things, because again, in the end, that is life, and it is life most of all that I am interested in. And maybe that won't be your cup of tea, but that is the beauty of YouTube, I guess, that when you have billions and billions of people out there in the world, there's bound to be some people that might find something like this interesting. I have to admit that the actual editing and publishing of the videos has been my weak point in the past. I love to film them, to think them up, even to write them, but sometimes I'll do all those things and never be able to sit down and get editing and really just pump it out and finish it. That part, for some reason, is a big chore for me. And so I'd actually be interested in forming a relationship, a partnership with somebody that would be interested in doing that editing part of it. So if you think that's you, go ahead and get a hold of me. And that's it. That is my new project with this channel. And here's to hoping that I keep it up. As always, I am very welcoming of any encouragement and suggestions along the way. So thanks for watching.